Kumar Acharya. So Architect Pawan started off with this Architecture 101 in the very first place. He started off with how to be an architect. So that is what Architect Pawan had given us previously. And then following to that, the very consecutive respect to next week, I had joined this webinar and I was able to tell you guys about becoming an architect. So basically, we saw about a lot of things about what's happening in college and things like that. And then following to that, architect Nivedhitha KR has joined us today. So architect Nivedhitha did the previous session, which was I am an architect. So basically on things which come after architecture. So in an architect's life. So when you become an architect. So that is what we all three did for the past month. And today we have very interesting two of our people from Sasi Creative School colleges. So I like to welcome David and Roopa here today for the webinar. Welcome, David. Welcome, Roopa. So they will be actually, put into interaction with you. So it's going to be a very interesting session, and they have something which they wanted to show you also, which is from their side. So as you can all the attendees, I would request you to keenly, listen to both David and Rupa, and then later in the question and answer session, we can answer all your questions. Even David and Rupa will also be able to answer your questions. So now we'll enter the webinar.
Thank you, Rupesh. Thank you. So to begin with, I thought we'll start off with the students itself. We will talk to them right now. Rupa and David, like probably first Rupa and then David, you can share your journey towards architecture, what inspired you, when, and what made you get into architecture. First, let's start off with that. Rupa?
Hi guys, I'm Roopa. Thanks to the Almighty that we're all hale and healthy here. And my architecture career, I basically did not know what architecture was at the first. Then when I was pursuing my studies, I heard about my aunt, who was a well-known, renowned architect, Chitra Vishwanath. And by seeing her works, I got inspired, which made me to search in the web, like what architecture was, what it's all about, and how is it gonna work. So I created interest through that, and that's how I developed an interest in that. Once I had completed my 10th public exams, then I had to choose for a group, whether computer science or biology. So I chose for the computer science group, as architecture involves both computer science, digital working. And then after me completing the 12th board exams, and there was an exam called Nata, which I came to know. I took up the test, and that's how I cleared Nata exam and then entered architecture.
David? Thank you, Rupa.
Thank you.
David, can you?
Yeah, ma'am. Hi, hello guys. My name is David, and as Rupa said, she got that idea of architecture in 10th standard itself. I didn't have any idea of that sort. Architecture was not really my first call. I just took up computer science in 11th standard just because, like everyone else, I thought I would become an engineer or something that way. When I was in 11th, our school used to conduct many career guidance programs and all. So that way I got to know about architecture, and then I surfed about it across the web, and I came to know that there is exam called Nata. Just like how there is NEET for MBBS, there is Nata for architecture. So I started searching about it. I inquired about it to my school seniors who were doing architecture at that time. They are passed out right now. And I then started preparing for that, and I cleared it eventually. And then I was blank as like a few of you students. Then now here I am at Sasi School of Architecture as an architecture student.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Rupa. Thank you, David. And hi. Okay, then I would like to ask you guys, like, with the first step, you would have like took to prepare for your Nata examination. So I would like to know about what were your preparations, and then what were your skill sets back then how you improved it, and then how was your Nata examination itself, uh, like, and then what was I mean, like, how you what was your result, and then what was your process towards the counseling. We would like to know about it. So and also like to the attendees. So here, yeah, you can like share your story.
Yeah, when I had completed my 12th examination, by the time it was too late for going for a coaching to attend the Nata exams. So what I thought was I had hardly 11 to 12 days. So what I thought, let me give a try. So I referred to the online question papers and I bought some books and I referred to that. I came to know that 40%, 50 to 60% was based on sketching skills. So since I had a passion for drawing and art from when I was young, um, I thought I could make it. So I just gave a try and then I attended the exam and got through it successfully. And when the results came, um, there was I came to know that you have quotas like management quota and counseling. So I applied for the counseling quota, and we had to go to the Anna University for that. And I had went there. We were allotted timings for that. Through that I went, and we were made to sit before laptops and choose our college. And I chose for Sasi Creative School of Architecture, and now I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. So you just had only like 2 weeks of time to prepare for your Nata, and then
Yes,
you
yes,
prepared, and then you got through. Yeah,
yes.
good. Yeah. Okay, then else, David's, yeah, your
Yeah.
story, please.
Yes, it's almost similar like what Rupa told. But I was into sketching long back when I was in school. I used to participate in sketching competitions and all that. And then Nata is all about the 50% is sketching and the remaining is about aptitude. So I was weak in aptitude actually. So I just prepared a few general aptitude questions like how they have for the JW and all that. And I went to attend the exam, and then I got actually I passed because of sketching only. So I got into I passed the Nata, and then yeah, I attended the counseling. I went through counseling. Now the counseling is different. I guess it's happening through online. That time we used to go to Chennai University, and we used to choose our colleges or whatever we want. And then yeah, I joined Sasi School of Architecture.
Okay, cool. Okay, David. Yeah, thank you guys. Um, yeah, and then you both had, I mean, like, you already had a skill set of sketching and then drawing even before, right? So did you practiced for Nata, and then how you improved it, and then how you improved your skills even after your Nata preparation, and then I mean, you guys are in fourth year now. So how it all helped in this course of your journey in architecture schooling, as practicing your sketching as well as painting skills, drawing skills as well.
I when I was young, I just knew to draw and paint, but I did not have the idea of perceiving things which are to scale and proportion and the perspective views,
Okay,
which I was not able to draw when I was young.
cool.
And what I thought architecture would teach me was perspective drawing. What I learned was perspective drawing and the scale and proportion. How do you compare with a building with a human scale?
Cool. Yeah, more of a technical way of drawing things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, then how about you, David?
So yeah, when before joining architecture, we know to sketch things and all, but we don't know the technical terms and all that. Now we are learning about 2 point perspectives. There are drafting new technical terms, but long back we used to draw blindly, just that's it. And what I came to know is architecture. The sketching is the soul of architecture. Whatever the views you have in your mind, it's all about bringing into the paper using your sketching
Expressing.
skills. Yeah, it's all about expression.
Okay,
That's
cool,
what.
cool. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, then
Thank you, David and Rupa. I hope, I'm sure your inputs would be of great help for the students. Rupesh, sir, you have a question for them?
I have a question for, I think, David and Rupa, they explained it very well. I have a question for Pawan sir and architect Nivedhitha. How was Pawan sir's and architect Nivedhitha's experience on Nata? Can you tell us?
yeah, I myself had a similar experience as of Rupa, because I was not completely aware of there is a NATA examination itself for architecture. I actually got the application. I mean, like engineering. I want to apply for Anna University affiliated colleges. So I actually got the application for engineering. I got the engineering counseling form, and I was waiting for my counseling for architecture. I had no idea that we have to take a separate counseling form for architecture alone.
Okay.
So which I came to know only a week before. And then even about Nata also, I was not aware about the deadline or last date for Nata. So it was like a crazy story of mine. And
Mhm.
then I also had just a week of time for preparation. So I was helping my drawing class sir. I went to a drawing class. So I was helping him on the summer holidays, assist him. So there were
Okay.
like few peoples who were like already wanted to they were already going for coaching for Nata, and then they want to do well in their sketching skills. So they came for the drawing institution, and then they informed me that okay, you have just a week time for your Nata examination. You have to prepare.
Okay. Okay.
So with yeah, and then I just borrowed books from them, and then yeah, I had only 1 week of time to know about the aptitude questions, and then also to know about the what all I have to sketch in the examination. And then I cleared, and then I got a pretty good mark in Nata. And then
Okay.
yeah, that's my story.
Nice.
And then yeah,
How was yours, Nivedhitha, ma'am? Like,
Yeah, so mine, I think, pretty straightforward. I sort of knew about architecture from 10th standard, I guess. And
oh,
then,
nice.
but I never knew how to get into it and everything. So
Okay.
I just went about it. And after probably 12th standard, when we finished, I got to know about NATA. I went searching for what to do for architecture. I did not really get into any of the engineering courses or anything. So just took up NATA, and then gave it, and I did go for a coaching, although I was not really a great artist or a painter in any form. I was
mm,
decent at sketching. So I think the Nata coaching did help me develop my perspective and understand sketching better. So, and that's how I got into architecture. And what
Nice.
about you, Rupesh sir? You can tell us
yeah.
also.
Me, me, it was like after 12th standard, I was in the holidays and I was sitting and watching, I think it was National Geographic, right? Yeah, in I think 2009, we had this thing called mega structures going on Nat Geo.
Yeah,
And then I was suddenly coming into this word called architecture. I was like, what is architecture even? I was asking like I asked my mom, mom, do you know what is the meaning of architecture? What is that? Is it something, something object or something like that? And then she took me into that process where she took me to the dictionary first. She told architecture is this, and then she put me into the process. And then I got to know whole subject was there, very specifically dedicated, no physics, chemistry, maths. That's the happiest thing for me.
that all.
So
Yeah,
it was one. So after that, we got into the. I learned a little bit of Nat. We read books about Nata. Yeah, before we had coachings. So read the books and then went to the thing and cleared it. So that was how
yeah. And
my
then there
thing
were not
started off.
enough coaching centers back then for Nata in
Yeah,
India.
yeah.
Yeah, and also
It was those were
then
the dark days of starting.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
So David and Rupa have got real. So at least nowadays, like our attendees who are here, they are already getting to know previously itself, Pawan, about Nata and how perspectives work, how do you sketch and things like that. It adds to more of confidence when they pull into that architecture itself.
Yeah,
So that's a nice thing, which is different from all three of us and them.
yeah, true.
Yeah. So I think next we should move on to we should move into the college. I think,
Knowledge,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So how do you want to start it? Like, should we tell them to show the presentation and start it, or should we make them talk a little bit?
Like let them talk, and then of course, yeah, they can show their interesting videos of their works also
Yeah.
after that. Yeah.
So David and Rupa, you can tell you can tell our attendees, all the 21 people, about what was new about you going into this architecture college. How did you feel about it? Stuff like that. Rupa can start.
As I had already told that I didn't know much about architecture. I just knew the term. I didn't even know what it meant. Then when I entered into the college, that's when I knew what architecture was. Until then, I didn't know what it was. Even after me crossing first year, I was able to understand architecture.
Good. How was yours, David?
I was blank totally in the first year. To me, architecture was only buildings. It's all about buildings, like, another part of civil engineering. That was my thought. That was my perspective. But when I joined college in the first year, it totally changed. It was totally an inverse of that. Architecture is, I think, an experience.
Good, nice, nicely put, nicely put. That's how you guys felt when you came into architecture. Good. So, did you feel more vibrant when you came into architecture? Did you feel more, into a different world itself? Rather, did you guys feel that?
Of course, I felt the change in
Yes,
me
good.
when I went inside architecture. It was like he said, it was a kind of a new experience. It was a new world for me when I entered it.
Yeah, and then like the process of your education process in architecture schooling is quite different from engineering itself, right? So you have like more of activity based exercises will be given to you in each and every subject. So did you expect that in the beginning years, whether this would be the progress or process of working in architecture? Because and quite in other field like engineering or like even in medicine, it was more of a theoretical, and then the working process is quite different. And architecture we have like very exercise based learning. So how was that, and then how to be educated in this kind of a process? uh, so how yeah.
First time when I came to know about architecture, the first thing which I heard was it's a playway learning. Like you get to do hands-on stuff. So rather than reading from books and listening to classes, when you use your hands and do something or create something, you get more knowledge, and it stays in your mind for long, as not rather than reading from the books. So when I came to know this was the main process behind architecture, I went for it without a second thought.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
David, how did you feel? What was he expecting?
I was not expecting like what Rupa told. I thought like, like engineering, it would be like listening to classes, mugging up stuff, having exams and all like that. Then I got to know that we have something called Viva, and we have to do projects and all that. It's all about practical learning. It's not mugging up stuff. It's all about creativity. That's what I felt. That's what I
Yeah.
came to
Good,
know.
good.
And then I quite believe that it's all about like developing your own individuality, your own individual skill. Like it's not a learning of like masses. So you'll teach everyone the same thing, and then they will be doing the same thing. It's all about like developing each and everyone's individual talent and the individual perspective of their own way of creating things. So it's about that. I mean, that's how like we as a professors also would insist on teaching in colleges. So yeah,
True.
quite
Good,
good.
good, good. So I think we'll not make the attendees wait. So let's see what our students have got to show them. All interesting stuff they've got, and even we forgot a lot of things, and they had put that in videos and presentations. It feels even more very nostalgic today also to look at those things. So yes,
Yeah.
Rupa, you can show them and you can explain them also. So it's your take.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Architecture. Live the creation. Live case study. Whenever you're given a building to design, or whenever you're given a project to design, you need to understand the building. You need to see one building which is like you're going to design. When you go for live case studies, you get into a building, you understand the spaces, you feel the spaces. As a user, you will know what this space means. That's what is the main role of live case study. So when you go for a live case study and then start designing your building, you can create more better designs. And these are the live case study places, actually a gallery which we were taken for our gallery design. Next is the site visits. So once the project is given and then a site would be given to you, you should actually understand the scale of the site, the size of the site, and your area of your building which you're going to design in the site. You'll be taken for site visits where you can understand the physical features in the site, such as the vegetation and soil textures, wind and the sun and climate, microclimates and the traffic flow, the noise in the site. So these are some pictures of our site which we had given to design. And next is the rural study. This comes in the second year of architecture, where you combine with all of your classmates, which improves your teamwork. You get to do a lot of teamwork in this study. It's basically a study of a village. Rural, it's quite a bigger scale when compared to individual projects. And you'll be taken to a village, and you'll be made to study and analyze the village. And finally, at the end, you'll be asked to give a proposal for the village, such that if the village doesn't have any say if it doesn't have proper community areas or recreational spaces, you can also provide as your proposal. So this is why we do rural studies. These are some images of our rural visit. It is Barukpare village in Coimbatore. And next comes the Viva and discussions. It's like once you're done with your projects, or while you're doing your projects, you'll have reviews taking place in the class, where you'll display your sheets to the class, and criticism and also inputs will be given by your faculties and also by your peers, so that you could improve your design. And then after improvising, at the end of the semester, you'll be having a viva, which you'll be explaining your models as well as your sheets to the external jurors. So this is how it happens. zonal NASA or NASA, National Association of Students of Architecture. This is an organization especially for architecture students, formed by students. You have it as a NASA, whether it's a country or as India as a country, or zonal. It will be divided into zones. Like you call the southern area, the northern, such way. It's when you take part in NASA, you get to meet so many people, so many students of your age, and your seniors and juniors. You get to interact with so many people. You get to know what is happening around you, and you have lectures given by great designers and architects, which you would get to listen. It basically happens for 2 days, and you will also have experience to workshops, which may be digital as well as seminars. These are some workshops, and you also get to do hands-on workshops where you'll be guided by architects to build something or create something. So these were done by students guided by architects for the bamboo workshop in a day, say 9 to 5, from morning 9 to 5. This is also done by students for better understanding of building arrangement of bricks. David, I think you can proceed from here.
Yeah, first, I told for an architect, sketching is the sole part of it. So whatever you have in your mind, you can bring it through sketching. And these are a few images of our classmates sketching and the drafting part. Let's show them. So you have design and sketching competitions happening within your classes, as well as you have several subjects like art studio, basic design, and all that. It's completely about sketching. Uh, you guys might think. Actually, I thought jumping into first year and we'll be into buildings and all that. But first, the basic is sketching. They will teach you how to sketch and draft. No worries if you if you are poor in sketching, but gradually you'll develop your sketching skills. The faculties will help you out, and also your fellow students will help you out. If you of your students may be good at sketching, they'll help you out in sketching and all. These are few images of our sketches and draftings. And yeah, this is the documentation part of the rural village, a single house which we actually went and documented. We actually go and inquire about the history of the house, the family structure, and all that, and we are used to document it, and we'll provide it. That's what I told, right? Our thought into sketch. That's what we did. We just inquired about them. We had a clear cut idea, and then we put it into a sketch, and we did a sheet out of that, and that's it.
Nice to see all this. It's very interesting.
Yeah, these model making is another good part of architecture. Rather than just only about drawing and all that stuff, you can also give life to your sketches. When it comes to 3D, it becomes lively. 2D is something you do in paper, and 3D which becomes like a small scale of a building, like the Milan Cathedral, which we did as a model for history subject. We have history subject, not what you study in school. This is history of architecture. You get to know about many historical places like the Notre Dame, Paris, the Colosseum, and all those wonders of the world. Everything you get to know about the history of architecture. And this is the best part, I guess.
Even for me, this is the best part, David. I will tell you, I
Yeah,
like this part so much.
yeah. This is the best part for everyone. This is the DJ night, which will happen. You get to attend so many symposiums in different colleges when you go for their competitions or whatever. In schools itself, they'll take you for some colleges and all like that. And uh, architecture will go for a different symposium, and every symposium will have the best part at the night, which is the DJ night. And these are few images where we went and attended in the zonal NASA convention, I guess. Yeah.
How many people were there, David, in this crowd? All students, I think. Yes.
Ah, everybody was students around. This was in zonas as a
Okay, the
lot of people
concert.
were there. Yeah, around I guess
I
500
remember.
to 500 to 1000 people.
Now,
Yeah,
students from all over India come here, right? All over India,
yeah,
all the colleges come to the convention, and they have a lot of fun there. That's the
yeah.
good thing about NASA.
It's
Yeah,
like the
then it's going to be
sunburn.
like 4 to 5 day event, right? 3 to 4.
It should be, yeah, 2 to 5
Yeah,
days in a week also. It's a very grand vacation for students.
yeah. And the tours, the study tours, in the name of study, you can travel wherever you want. You can just prepare your own itinerary, and you can travel in your semester vacation. And there is something called the whole North India trip in your syllabus itself, where we get to travel all around the North Indian places, and you get to visit so many buildings. This is our study tour pictures. Yeah, build the unimaginable. This is
Thank
our
you. Thank
Thank
you.
small
you.
journey.
Thank you, Rupa.
Nice. So after the tour, it all changes, right? Rupa and David. I think for us, it changed
Yeah,
in college. Only after we came back from the tour, we could understand. Oh my God,
Yes.
architecture is like international, man. It's like worldwide. We need to learn a lot. That's what I felt. So, how did you guys feel after coming back from the tour? How was your perspective? You can put it short.
For me, after coming back from tour, we were in college for almost 1 full year, and then in the second year only we got a chance to go for the tours and all that, like rurals also we went, and we went to the southern India trip and all. After going that, I thought, we have to travel more, and it's always, traveling is a happy feeling, and you get to learn more stuff, you get to meet new people, and you learn more about their culture, and the building has its own culture, to be honest. Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I
Mhm.
felt.
Nice. Rupa, yours, how did you feel?
Yes, sir. The same feeling I had.
Mhm.
And I thought I could, not only from the college, I thought if I could go as a person and visit places which I felt would be inspiring for me, so that I browse the net for such kind of places. And whenever I get semester holidays, I just go there.
You go, no? Okay, good,
Yeah.
good, good. That's the nice thing about Sol. So that's the whole thing. So attendees, if you can, the whatever they showed is what is architecture is. So if you had not got any vision until now about what is going to happen inside architecture, two of the students, they have showed whatever they have done and how they got inspired and what was the fun about it and things like that. So this is reality about architecture, I would say. So I think on that note, I think we can now start interacting with the attendees. So the attendees, I would like to request each and every one of you to type your question in the question and answer block, which is there on our screens, Q&A, which we can see below. So as you type your questions, we will also answer your questions, and Rupa and David also can answer your questions from their point of view. So
I
I think
think
we can start with the
at
Q&A.
the moment we already have one question. Um, Rupesh or Pawan can take it, I guess. I'll read it out. Um, can you give an idea how a civil engineer can become an architect? Is the question. We do not have the attendee's name.
Yeah, it's anonymous. Yes. See that.
Yes.
Can of course you have to take up the schooling, your bachelor education, and then yeah, I mean like if he or she have completed their 4 years of engineering, and then if you can dedicate next 5 years into bachelor of architecture schooling, and then of course, yeah, it's the same similar process as in for the people who have passed out work. Yeah, and then but the good thing is you I mean like these I mean like the people who have already done civil engineering have a better clarity on the tech. I mean like technically they will be like more sound or more experienced in case of people who have just passed out 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys will be in but you have to be ready to like spend next whole 5 years after your 4 years of graduation as civil engineer as well to be an architect. Yeah.
My answer is like that for that question. If you're a civil engineer and you want to become an architect, just do B.Arch. There's no other way you can become an architect. It's all the whole brain changes when you come into architecture. So both are different. So you need, if you are thinking today you want to be an architect, I would say leave civil engineering, come and join B.Arch. That's it. Very simple.
Yeah,
so that's the reality, I would say.
Yeah, it's a different process, and then it's a different ideology. So it's better, yeah, to study.
Thank you, Pawan and Rupesh. So the next one, I think I'd want Roopa or David to take it up. It's from Agastya. She's a first-year student. She's asking, she's having trouble coming up with a concept. What is a concept? How do you come up with a concept?
Very nice.
So being a first-year student, it's quite difficult to come up with a concept at the first go, because you're just after 12th and you've entered architecture. It's quite difficult to define what is architecture and to understand architecture. First, what you would do is you will just start with mimicking from nature. You call it biomimicry. That is the first thing you'll come up with as a concept, and then you'll start applying to the buildings, and you would try to improvise on that and try to explain on that. So when you keep doing for this, you would get inputs from your faculties, your peers, and you would get a better vision of how your concept is and how you should improve on it. So when you go further semesters, your thinking levels would improvise as an architect. So you would get better concepts and deep concepts. And that time you'll be familiar what concept is and how you come up with a concept.
Cool.
I like the question, by the way.
Everybody likes this question.
David, you have anything to add to it?
Yeah, I can answer. Concept is nothing but an idea, what you want a building, how you want the building to look like, everything has a concept in it. For example, the dress you wear, even fashion has its own concept. Wherever you go, you can't wear the same dress for everywhere. It depends. There is something which is called, a situation requires something. So if you have a building like a mall or an apartment, you have to come up with a concept for that particular building. You can't bring up some other idea. You have to bring your own idea of how your building should look like. And I think that's a concept. A concept is an idea, basically. It's your idea.
Yeah.
You have to be strong in it. That's what is important.
Nice,
something that which will improve. Which will inspire you to solve a problem. Whatever the problem, whatever it can be, something to inspire. It has to inspire you to solve a spatial requirement problem. So yeah, but
everybody has this. Even I had, and Nivedhitha ma'am, Pawan sir had the same question, Agastya, because when we were coming into the first, second year, we were thinking, what is concept? How do I tell concept, or how do I explain concept to my teacher? Why is he asking and all that? But as you put your hands on paper, like you start sketching and you imagine and you put a lot of stuff into paper, that will show you something. Now that will become what you are and what a concept is. Concept is literally what you are. I would say that will be very matching, isn't it, Pawan? Because Pawan sir particularly, he does a lot of sketches, okay, and his sketches are there and it's very futuristic. So that is concept for him. Nivedhitha ma'am has a different style. Roopa has a different style and David has a very varied style altogether. So for each person, it's a very unique thing. Concept is very unique for. So Agastya, you will have your own concept. You don't worry about it. I would say, I think that is how to we'll make her feel good, because she's asked a second question also. How do you explain concept before
Yeah.
finishing that question? So she's little bit. So Agastya, don't worry. It's not that bad and all. So you can do it. Okay. So yes, ma'am. So what is the next one?
Yeah, I hope Agastya, you got your answer from us. The next is from Sanjeevi. He is asking, why is portfolio important in architecture?
Yeah, of course, it's a collection of your own work. Where if you want to seek a internship, or if you have to seek a job, of course you have to have your own collection of your works as a portfolio. So it is quite important, and then it's quite important to preserve your works during the process of your schooling, and also to improvise it and then have it as a collection. And it is very important. I mean, only a portfolio is going to get your job. So,
Now,
yeah.
actually, I think Roopa and David are on the process of doing their portfolio, because they're getting into the training part, the internship part, which is also a nice thing. So, how are you guys going about with the portfolio? Answer him, so he'll be a little bit
That would be
confident about it. Yes, Roopa, you can tell.
To be frank, I'm not sure how it's gonna look. I haven't decided yet how to bring up my portfolio, but I have some ideas. I would surely try to implement to make a good portfolio.
David?
Sir, every year we used to make portfolios, right, for our design projects. And the final portfolio is the whole collection of every works which we did. I think it should be good enough for me to get into intern or work. Uh, the good work should be presented in it in such a good manner. So portfolio is really important. It's like showing off our skills. We have to show off to survive in this field. It's actually the survival of the fittest. So we should actually let the people know that I know this thing, I can do this, I know this software, I can do this much of sketching, I can do this much in model making. So it's about letting know about myself. It's like my biodata. It's like my Instagram bio you have, right? That's it's like that. You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to
They
you
can
have
relate.
to let people know about yourself. It's your talent.
Good, good. That's nice. That's nice. Good.
That's nice. That's very nice. So that's this thing. Just for me to add one more thing is, see, in architecture, portfolio lets you if you are a fresher and you're going out of college to join somewhere, it shows what kind of a growth you have had from your first year to your fifth year, what your thought process was. A portfolio expresses all these things, which a normal written biodata cannot. And since architecture is a creative field, and as a employer or anyone, whoever, as a client, they would want to know what you can offer, what you can show. You have to show them what you can do, rather than writing it, saying I can do this software or that. So that's the difference in architecture. It's a practical field. You have to show them what you can do at the end of the day. So portfolio is very important. uh, that's the base for anything to take forward in architecture. So the next question is actually from an anonymous attendee. What are some best institutes for architecture in masters? And does anyone want to take it? Rupesh sir? Or
Who's asked that question?
it's anonymous. It's
Okay.
anonymous.
All anonymous questions only are coming nowadays after Corona, I think. So, what is the question again? I just pulled off that.
Best institutes for architecture in masters, for masters particularly.
Best Institute for Architecture in Masters. Yes, all over India we have one. See, top 10, top 20s we have, and we have GATE, which we need to go and take GATE exam to go into the IITs and stuff like that. We have JJ at Bombay, and then we have our regional IITs everywhere. IITs are on the topmost. And then we have Nikmar, which is set up somewhere in the mid region. And then when we come towards Bangalore, we've got us RV, BMS, Chennai, Gindi. Lot of colleges are there. It depends on what study are you going to take for masters. So if you're going to take some study about landscape, there are only few colleges which give the best institutes. So you'll be ending up in Manipal University maybe if you're going for landscape. If you're going for vernacular architecture and details and research on that, you'll be heading a little bit towards the southern side maybe. So it depends on what kind of study, and that will decide your location basically. I think that's the reality of masters, which we don't have to worry about now. And I would also request participants, if you have any more questions, please to ask, because we are running into the last 15 minutes of our Q&A. If you have any doubts, please ask now. So we've got these two beautiful students. They will answer you. They're already being very frank about their things. So it'll be very, you'll have the rapport. So yes, so ma'am, we'll go to the next question. Ma'am.
Yeah, sure. So Sanjeevi is asking, what is the first semester project? Actually, what's your first project, and can you tell your experience?
Nice.
Roopa and David, can.
For the first semester, we did not have any projects like as buildings. For the second semester, we had projects, which was a residence, a toilet, and what do you call
a kiosk or something?
Patio.
Yeah, okay.
So we had 3 projects, and first we started off with the toilet. Since being a first design, we didn't know how to start. The same way I was struggling with the concept, how to start with the concept, how to bring a concept into it. And then it was something new, and I did not know how to start with it basically. So I always went to the faculties and I asked how to proceed with it, each step. It was quite a challenging design for me, toilet. And after that, we entered into the residence, designing a residence. We had user-based residence. Each one of us were allowed to take a user, say a dancer or a lawyer or a doctor, a residence for a doctor, a residence for a dancer, a residence for a lawyer. So when it comes to dancer, you could provide a dance floor. When it comes to a lawyer, you could provide a room with books, a library inside a residence. So in such a way, we had a residence project based on the user. And after that, we had the, what do you call, patio, designing a patio. And that was a small project and it was a time project. It was just for 1 week. We started off with model making so that we could get a better idea of how it would look. So first we completed the model making, and then we went with the plans and elevations and the sections and views of it. And these 3 projects went on for the Viva, and thus we completed the semester. It was a great experience for me.
Nice. David, yours?
Yeah, residence toilet and a kiosk, a pavilion kind of thing was our first project, and residence was a major design project, as someone told in the chat just now I saw. And you have to refer you would have done that. You have to refer so many books and so many websites for your reference and also for your learning. And my experience was I came to find that the design of my own house is wrong. That's what I found. I mean, the house which I'm living in, it's wrong. That's what I found, because when you come into architecture, you have to see everything, every perspective you have to see, uh, right from lighting, ventilation, and everything matters. So that's what I came to learn in the first semester.
Nice. Actually, that's what actually everybody feels. After designing the residence, they will go to their house and they'll look like, why is the bedroom here? Why is the kitchen there? What are you doing? They'll ask. So from that, you will get answers, which is nice. Okay, good. Next question, we have something, right?
Yeah, let me. Actually, so an anonymous attendee, but we are not able to get your question. What do you suggest? Do interns after B.Arch or do masters and then do B.Arch? I'm so sorry, we are not able to understand what you are asking for. If you can just type it out again, would be great.
Yeah.
And yes, and Hetal Patel is asking for, does college matter for architecture?
Very strange question, but it's an intelligent question, I would say. Yes, from that perspective, she's thinking. Rupa and David, give an answer, then we'll answer for that. We
Yeah,
have
I can
For that.
answer. I can answer. I think
yeah,
college doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for architecture. You know, I have a personal experience about that. I have a friend of mine. Actually, he's a senior. He's 1 year senior for me, and he studied somewhere in Mysore. He studied, and that college was not like a reputed college and all. Just because the fees is very much less, he joined there because of his economical and financial conditions. He joined there. They didn't have that much of, they had only 2 or 3 faculties for the whole 5 years. They had only that much, and he was struggling. Really, he was struggling too much. And then one he knows. His father knows few people who are architects. Then while going for internship, he asked to his friends. I mean, his dad's friend to take him as an intern. So, and he frankly told that I don't know anything about architecture. We haven't designed anything of a big scale. Their sixth semester, that is the third year project, was a petrol bunk. That was their project. Just they had 2 boxes and a site plan and having a car going away. That was his
oh,
plan. And
okay.
he didn't know
That's too
anything. But
bad, actually.
yeah, it's bad. But he had a great, he had so much of interest for architecture. Then he didn't know anything, and he went for internship. And the architect, he knows him well, so he doesn't know anything. And he fed him a lot of inputs, and then he got to learn so much of things. Now he is he completed BA 2 years back, and now he's working in a studio in Bangalore, and he's earning very well. And he's one of the top architects in that firm. He actually learned a lot. He used to work day and night. He used to learn stuff from the office. And he's always an enthusiastic person. He has that interest for architecture. He has that passion for architecture. Although he didn't do anything in his academics, he went to the internship and he got yeah, that's the best part of architecture, I would say. Going for the internship, you don't get in any other courses. Going for internship in engineering and all, you just go, you just write exams, 4 years lab exams, that's it. You come out with a degree. That's all you do. In architecture, you have internship. You go to work with people who are architects while studying itself. You still have 1 more year in college. You will go for internship, and you learn stuff. And you come again as a student, and you can perform well. It's all about interest, I guess. College doesn't matter. It's all about your interest.
Very, very nicely.
Absolutely
Very,
agree.
very, very well answered. I don't have any answers. Whatever we were about to tell, this guy told. Very good
Yeah.
answer. Rupa, what is your thing on that? What is your take? Like, what do you want to say?
In my opinion, college does matter for architecture.
Very nice. We are having this debate kind of thing, no? Like Vijay TV,
Yeah,
me
it's
and
good
Nana
to
kind
have
of stuff.
different opinions.
It's
Yeah.
nice, actually. Yeah. So Rupa, yeah.
Because I since I didn't know anything about architecture, when I came into architecture, that's what I learned. I learned what architecture really is. So still till that I didn't have any idea of what architecture was. So what I am now is all because of architecture, which I had learned in college, and with all my faculties who have acquired that knowledge to me. And hence, college does matter for architecture, in my opinion.
So both. Okay. 50-50.
Good, good.
Both matters. Interest matters, yes, and
Passion,
college
yeah.
also matters.
Both, yeah.
Good.
Great,
Nice.
great. Thank you. So I think probably the last question we have, from an anonymous person. Do we have to take up internship after B.Arch or do masters and then do internship?
Maybe like he or she like trying to ask whether we can go for a job in an architect office, or
I believe, yeah.
I think it's depend upon your choice. it's upon depend about your choice, and then yeah, I feel it depends completely about your choice. So if you're very passionate enough, and then you have a years, you have a time, couple of years time to start earning, so you can like completely dedicate yourself to doing a master's, or you have a situation where you have to earn right away after your completion of 5 years of the bachelor education. It's good because both has a different experience, but very needed experiences in both, whether you are going for a master's or you're going for a job. Yeah.
And for that anonymous, that intern, I think I would tell, see, anonymous attendee, whoever you are, ask that question. Internship is a part of your syllabus. Okay, so fourth year now, like Rupa and David are here, they will be going to internship in the next semester. For they'll be going to architecture office, and they will be practicing architecture, and they'll get paid also. And after that, 1 year back, they'll come again to college. They will do their urban studio the ninth semester, and then they'll do their thesis in the 10th semester. And after that, you get your degree, and after that only you pursue your masters. So that is the thing about that internship, that word which you asked. So it's already in the syllabus. You can get the clearance or idea when you are joining the college, or somebody would put it very clearly to you. Okay, I think, yeah. Well, Pawan, we have a last question here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rupa and David, yeah, you can also answer. What are the basic softwares to be learned for an architecture? For architecture, basically, what do you want to learn?
Very basic software is, of course, you have to be good in sketching. That's the first thing. I mean, after that, if you really want to know about software, the basic is CAD, which we use for two-dimensional drawings mostly. And then there are other three-dimensional softwares like SketchUp or Revit, or even Rhino, and then 3ds Max, or following three-dimensional softwares. And then you need to know about more of a presentation software as well, like Photoshop or Illustrator, and also like rendering softwares like V-Ray and Lumion. Or there are
There
like
are a
quite
lot,
a lot of
lot
softwares.
of
Yeah, of course, there are like quite a lot of softwares in the market, and it's good to know each and every thing. And then it's very important to master at least a few for the sake of your career. So yeah, because right now the software, knowing software and then being good at the software is very very important and essential for your career.
Okay, nice.
Thank you. Thank you. I think from anonymous attendee, we have another question. We have already answered that though. Can you give an idea how a civil engineer can become an architect? Like we said, you will have to pursue B.Arch. After any time, you cannot go directly into any master's course and become an architect. You will have to do your B.Arch and then get a license, and that's when you will be an architect. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for your questions.
I
So
think David and Rupa. So
yeah.
both of you, I think, for all the attendees here, the youngsters, those people who are here, just tell very shortly about, just inspire them. Okay, give them a point, or give them something, so they'll get inspired.
Okay, I'll start then. Okay, it's too much of silence. And
Yes.
yeah, architecture, few people have good idea about architecture and few don't. You don't have idea about architecture. If you want to join architecture, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all about interest. That's what I told from the beginning. It's all about your interest. It's all about your passion for architecture. It's all about your love for architecture. Always keep one thing in mind. You should never give up. We also have you have to go through a lot of situations in this course. I have a lot of classmates who discontinued in first year, second, and all that, and still we have 50 to 60 students in our batch. They didn't give up. They still are with us in the fourth year, and within 1 year we are going to complete our bachelor's degree. It's all about your mental strength, and it's all about your mental stability. It's how you take up things. you shouldn't give up. It's all about your interest. Again and again, I'm telling you, it's all about interest and passion, and always have something as a hobby. And for for relaxation, you have to always, everybody will have their own stress in their work environment or their student environment. It happens. You can't help it, you have to be relaxed, you have to keep your mind free, fresh, and all that. And yeah, interest matters. Thanks.
Nice, David. Thank you so much. Yes, Rupa, yours.
I would like to give a note of just 3 points. Like, definitely you should have self motivation, self inspiration, and self driving force whenever you meet with a CHALLENGE. This is what I wanted to tell you all. And stay motivated. Have the spark within you always burning. Thank you.
Nice.
Beautiful. Thank you
Very
so
good.
much,
Very
Rupa.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So more than what all the three architects spoke last three seminars, I think talking to these students today would have made really a big difference for all the attendees. They would have got to know the the connectivity, the rapport which they have, and what situation they are in, and things like that. So I think with that, Nivedhitha ma'am, we'll just come to the end of this session.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can close, I guess.
Good.
Sure.
So
So
I think yeah, please.
yeah, I think all, I hope the students had a good time meeting our students. You can always uh, reach out to Momentum if you have further questions regarding Nata and how to go about it. And thank you so much for your time. And particularly David and Rupa, thank you for spending time with us. And I'm sure you gave them a lot of good insight about what
Yeah.
architecture is and your experiences, and you were definitely inspiring enough for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you
It was
so much.
glad speaking with so much attendees and also speaking, knowing what questions they have to ask before entering architecture, after entering architecture.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you, Rupa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pawan sir and Rupesh sir also.
Thank you,
Yeah,
David.
thank you
For all
guys. So thanks to Momentum Studio for arranging this, and thanks for all the attendees who took your time. All of us, all five of us today here, all see we have given you the truth, and that is the truth. So all you need to do is just have like Rupa told, keep yourself motivated all the time, and like David told, always have that interest. Don't lose that. So within a time, you guys will be like finishing architecture, and it'll just take you through in life. So on that note, Arun sir, I think thank you for supporting us for this webinar and also the previous three webinars. So Arun from Sasi Creative Colleges has been there full time for supporting. And this particular session, if you want to share it with your friends or anybody, your parents, your colleagues, or your people at different colleges, students, this session is being recorded, and you can get it from the team which is there, the number which is there on the poster. So I think that's it. So thank you everybody for attending, and thanks a lot. Let's
coming to
all
the
have
end
a
of the
good year.
series.
Yeah.